What does it mean to be a superstar in the NBA? The upper echelon of the upper echelon in the league. Last night during the 2020 NBA draft, Reese Davis looked over at me and said, you know, Jay, who in this draft class has the best chance to be a superstar? A superstar. I thought to myself for a second. I said, you know what? I don't see a superstar in this draft class. I see stars, people who could be really great NBA players, but I don't see anybody that can be in that elite of the elite category. Last year, I saw Zion Williamson. I saw John Morant. Okay, I think they have chances to be superstars in the league. What are some of the categories I need to be fulfilled in order to be a superstar in this league? You either have to win a finals MVP or a regular season MVP. You have to win a world championship. Or you have to have so much swag that it oozes off of you every time you're on the court. That's somebody that when you see, you're like, yo, damn. He doing it like that? People know who you are like that? Superstar status. So with that being said, I have 11 superstars in the league. 11. Okay? Here they are. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, James Harden, Giannis, Luka Doncic, Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, and Dame Dollar. 11 superstars in the league. Not everybody can be a superstar. You could be a star. You could be a big-time player. But that's a different threshold to break into a superstar. Who are your superstars?
League right now. The biggest question, could both James Harden and Russell Westbrook be on the move after ESPN reported they are concerned about the direction they're going in? Here's Kendrick Perkins on First Take yesterday.
It's time to blow the whole damn thing up. Listen, Russell Westbrook is already gone, okay? He's not coming back. Once he requested a trade, I know Russell Westbrook, he's done, okay? If you're James Harden, you cannot stay there and wait to see what you're going to get back in return, because it's not going to be someone that's going to put you in a title contention or someone that's going to help you win a championship.
So that was Perk yesterday. Here's Jay Will today from KJZ across the hall. And you were on this program yesterday, and you said essentially the same thing. You believe both of those guys will be out of Houston.
If Russell Westbrook does not want to be there anymore, what is the need for James Harden to stay? Stephen Silas has already came out and said that they are going to double down and run small ball again. You have not won playing small basketball. And even if you are able to trade, if you are able to get rid of Russell Westbrook, what assets in return do you get for him? I don't think the trade market value is going to be the same of what it was for Russell 5 years ago, what it is going to be now. I think if you're James Harden, you're going to be sitting there saying, I'm 31 years old. What the hell am I doing in Houston? I love being here. I've given this organization everything I have, but it's time for me to go on to better pastures to make sure that I can find myself inside a world championship.
You know, all of the speculation, because Daryl Morey has gone to Philadelphia, will be about the possibility of Harden and Embiid teaming up together in Philadelphia if they can figure out how to make a trade. You talked about it yesterday here, maybe Ben Simmons. Again, we're just wildly speculating on what might happen. But I do think it's an interesting consideration. I asked Tim Legler about it on the radio yesterday. I'll ask it to you directly. If that's what winds up happening here and Harden winds up in Philadelphia, do they win the Eastern Conference next year?
Yes, they would. The one caveat to that would probably stop that is I wonder if Tim Fertitta, the owner of the Houston Rockets, would actually allow Daryl Morey to leave the organization, to say he takes time off, to then go to Philadelphia, get hired. Tim Fertitta would have to be helping out the Philadelphia 76ers to do that. Now, what I did also hear yesterday, there's so many rumors and speculation around this, but I wouldn't discount the Brooklyn Nets for James Harden. The Brooklyn Nets have Spencer Dinwiddie. He's been sending subliminal messages about not wanting to be in Brooklyn. He's been out in L.A. for the last couple of months. They have Karis LeVert. They have a lot of assets. They want to try to get Joe Harris back, but they have a lot of moving parts. And Kevin Durant and James Harden and Kyrie Irving together in the same team, that could be an interesting play as well.
Well, Durant and Harden obviously were together once upon a time in Oklahoma City. It took that team to a finals, but that's a very long time ago, and both their careers have gone in very interesting directions since then. Do you think that's a good group? Okay, let's do the same thing. You put that group together, KD, Harden, and
Who's stopping them? Who's stopping them? I mean, they would be the favorite to win the whole damn
There's
thing.
only one ball, though, right?
But James Harden did also average 7.5, 8 assists a game. I mean, it's not like the ball sticks. I mean, the one thing, the player you have to worry about is Kyrie, obviously, but you can allow him to be more of a scorer. James can be more of a traditional point guard, but still can score.
While we're throwing names out there, the name Victor Oladipo has come up in some conversations. And again, we don't know what's going to happen, but the possibilities of an Oladipo winding up on the move here, as we just, it's fun to recklessly speculate about what might happen in the NBA. Is there a team out there that is Victor Oladipo away from winning the championship?
I mean, look, there's so many things. I mean, could Victor Oladipo go potentially to L.A.? Maybe. I mean, I've heard DeMar DeRozan trade assets to L.A.
Which L.A.?
That's a great question.
Got you.
That's a great question. Could it be with LeBron and AD, depending upon what they decide to do with some of their assets? Could it be with the Clippers? I still think CP3 is a better fit for the Clippers, but I could see VO go out to LA. I mean, I could see VO maybe go to Phoenix. There's a lot of opportunities for Victor Oladipo. I can't sit here and say I know exactly where he's going to go.
No, I know, but I mean, you put him with LeBron and Anthony Davis with the Lakers, and now you really are talking about a dynasty.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you are.
I mean, that's the way that feels. Anyway, look, it's fun. We're playing fantasy basketball as we work our way towards in this very abbreviated offseason. We got the draft, and then we got all this wheeling and dealing.
Milwaukee.
Well, I mean, they're looking for that, right? I mean,
they need somebody. Someone. They need a number two. Chris Middleton, can he be a number two? Could be interesting.
No question about it. Always interesting. KJZ across the hall, coast to coast, every morning on ESPN Radio. Have a great weekend,
Thanks,
man.
brother.
The great Jay Will here. Meanwhile, let's get up and go. Other news around the way, and this is going to be very interesting. The Rockets navigating an offseason of major change. New coach, new general manager. Now a new challenge is emerging. The uncertainty of former MVPs, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and their futures with the team. Jay Will has made his way across the hall from KJZ over there. Great to see you as always. Let's just start with this. Do you believe either of them will be on the Rockets when the season begins?
No. I think both will probably be moved somewhere else in return for assets. And think about everything. First year on the job for Stephen Silas, you have Russell Westbrook, James Harden have came out pretty much through their agents and said, look, we're not happy here. What are we doing? You have things like P.J. Tucker, who's irate about his contract. You have Daniel House. You have Evan Gordon. You have Austin Rivers, all dissatisfied with their roles. Former players describing this franchise as problematic. I think Daryl Morey is trying to make moves to get James Harden to Philadelphia. I've been hearing rumors about, hey, can we do a swap with Ben Simmons to James Harden and Russell Westbrook? I know people here want to hear about that. I think the Knicks are going to try to make a move in return for assets for Russell Westbrook.
Okay, let's dive into what you just said. You believe Ben Simmons for James Harden could be in the offer?
I think it has to be on the table. I think if you're Daryl Morey, you're looking at your situation saying, hey, look, can these two work together? I'm not sure. But think about one of the things you wouldn't be able to do against James Harden that you could do against Ben Simmons is literally stack the paint. Sit there, it makes it difficult for Joel Embiid to work. If you're able to pull something like that off, you unlock Joel Embiid. You unlock James Harden. Also, you brought Doc Rivers there to make that situation work with Tobias Harris. I think that is a team that you can build and have a chance to win the Eastern Conference with.
That's remarkable. Ben Simmons is known as a guy who's not willing to shoot. James Harden never had that problem. So that's a
And you need three-point shooting with the Philadelphia 76ers, right?
So that's a really interesting one. Now you just said Russell Westbrook to the Knicks?
Well, the Knicks have a lot of expiring contracts on their books. If you're able to get that, if you're Houston, if you're going into the rebuild scenario, if you're Tim Fertitta, the owner, then you can get a lot of expiring contracts. And Russell Westbrook in New York City. And I'm not just saying that because we're here in New York City. I would tell you whatever team I thought he was going to. Fashion Week, Tribeca Film Festival, owning a team. New Yorkers really want, and they have the cap space to do that. Now, can you start building around a guy like Russell Westbrook? If CP3 is going to the Suns or if you're going to the Clippers, I think that's a shot you have to take as well.
So that's really remarkable. And so to go back to the previous one, if you were to have James Harden and Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris and whatever it is they put around them in Philadelphia, I would have to sort of sit down and look at what it would look like, and we don't even know what the trade would look like. Does that then become what in the Eastern Conference?
It probably become the favorite in the Eastern Conference.
So
I mean,
Harden
them in Milwaukee
together with Milwaukee, Boston, Toronto. It becomes the Sixers conference.
I would love to watch the Celtics go against them because I actually think the Celtics have defensive pieces that could defend. But if you had James Harden, Joel Embiid on the same team, pick and roll, high usage rate, surround them with a guy like Tobias Harris who can be a marginal shooter. Daryl Morey's great at finding the gems in the rough. if he's able to find the right pieces around that team, they would have to be the presumptive favorite going into the Eastern Conference season.
That would be really remarkable. You didn't even mention Miami, obviously, who made the final this past year. And then Russell Westbrook on the Knicks becomes what? This is a team that's a franchise that's been so bad for so long. He brings a lot of star power.
Star power. Star power. Somebody that wants to be here. I think New York has been waiting for a free agent to want to be here. Leon Rose, Worldwide West, they have a lot of the pieces infrastructure-wise. Maybe Russell Westbrook is the first piece of the puzzle down the road.
Do you have a reason to believe he wants to be here? Because you're right. The stars generally have not wanted to come play for the Knicks. Do you think he wants to be here?
I think Russell Westbrook always wants to win a championship. But if it doesn't work out that you can't get traded to a team, why are you staying in Houston? If James Harden does decide to leave, if there's a better situation for him, why would you stay in Houston? Would it make sense for you to own something of your own, or you go try to win a championship? I don't know what team would be able to move pieces enough to win a championship for Russell Westbrook right now.
It's such an unusual offseason. Should we expect there to be more of this as we work our way through November and to the beginning of next season? Are we going to see a bunch of movement like this?
I think you're going to see a ton of trade scenarios. Another person that a lot of people always talk about is Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, I know John Wall is coming back. A lot of people want to see John Wall and Bradley Beal run it back. But is that something that Bradley Beal wants to do when you have situations out there like the Lakers organization? You have other teams that have cap space that can use a guy like Bradley Beal, that is one of the most gifted scorers we have in the game of basketball. We just don't talk about them because he plays for the Wizards.
Fascinating. Again, the possibility of James Harden in Philadelphia playing with Doc and playing with Joel Embiid really would be spectacular. And just as a total aside, I love those glasses. You have to tell me where you got them. He is Jay Williams.